everybody, welcome back to Grandma's Corner, where I have been having so much fun making videos for the world. I have so much to tell you that is educational, arts and crafts, things to do, fun activities. I hope you join me. I hope you subscribe and support my cause. Today, we are going to learn how to make ground beef jerky. Now, everybody loves beef jerky, but sometimes beef jerky is a little tough to chew on. You feel like you're pulling at it, you're eating like a bone and you're chewing and chewing. Well, this is a little softer version of it, and I've made it and I really like it. The only thing about this jerky is that it doesn't get totally dried out, so you can't just leave it in a bag in your cupboard. You have to put it in the freezer, and when you're ready to have some, just pull a couple pieces out and chew, chew, chew. All right, here we go. Ground beef jerky. What do you need? Well, you need a rolling pin because we're going to be rolling it out kind of thin. You also need to have parchment paper. Remember parchment paper we've used before? It's a wonderful tool. And you need a cookie sheet or a jelly roll pan will work. I'm going to try a cookie sheet this time because last time when I did the jelly roll sheet, my rolling pin got stuck on the edges and I couldn't get it down as flat as I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post the recipe in the comments so you don't have to worry about capturing this at this moment in time to get the recipe. But what I've already done is I've already put all the dry ingredients together in here, and then I'm going to add the wet ingredients to it. I went ahead and I made sure that all of these dry ingredients are broken up. Sometimes you get clots, not clots, but I guess they're clods of cayenne pepper or garlic powder. And you don't want to be biting into your jerky and then all of a sudden, whoo, your mouth is on fire because the cayenne pepper ball was not pulverized. So you get what I'm saying. All right, so here we go. We got all the dry stuff. Now the wet ingredients are water and liquid smoke. Have you ever heard of liquid smoke? Well, this is the most fabulous seasoning that you can add to meats to get that smoky flavor. This one happens to be hickory, and I love this. It's a wonderful addition to meat. All right, I'm going to push all this stuff aside because we don't need any of this. I am going to take my liquid. I'm going to put it into my powder, and I'm going to give it a good swirly, whirly, whirly. Mix it all up before I add the meat. Now you're saying to yourself, wow, and this is a good question, do I only have to use beef? Well, no, the answer is be creative. If you want to stay safe, there you go, doesn't that look lovely? Just stick with beef, but you're not going to believe what I'm going to do today. My dad is a hunter, so I'm going to be putting in bison, ground bison. But I'm also going to mix that up with this wonderful breakfast sausage that I got from our local university, Cal Poly University. And I'm going to try sausage with bison meat this time. Last time I mixed beef and bison. And that's the beauty of these kinds of recipes is that you can mix these things up, whatever kind of meat that you like, and give it a try. See what flavor you enjoy. Now this recipe calls for 1 pound of ground meat. As you can see, you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, she's got 2 packages going there. Well, yeah, I decided to double up. Because if I'm going to go through all this effort and I'm going to make this stuff, I am going to make a double batch because I love it that much. So I am now going to take this meat and I'm going to give it a good mixing. Squish, squish, squish. Mix it all up. And then we are going to roll this out. All right. This is looking pretty good. Let's go to our next step. Okay, now I'm back and I mixed that up really well. And as you remember, I did a double batch. So I'm only going to take half of this meat and I'm going to put it on the parchment paper, which is already on the cookie sheet, and I'm going to give it a good spread because there's no way I can get 2 pounds of meat spread out as thin as I need it to get mostly dried. While you're doing this, go ahead and put your oven on, and you want to put it on the lowest setting to about 170 degrees because you want this to slowly dry. You don't want to cook it, you want to dry it. All right, I'm going to take my other piece of parchment paper, give my hands a good little wipe because you know what? They're a little bit meaty, greasy. Not so much from the bison meat because that's very lean, but certainly from the sausage. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we are going to roll this meat out, and we want to get it to about 1/4 of an inch. This thing is going all over the place. Like, why has a mind of its own? Holy smokes. All right, let's see if that'll do it. Belly power. All right, so I'm getting this thing rolled out, and it's probably going to fill the whole pan up. So, oh, that's probably making so much noise. What in the world? Pro, I'm not. Oh my gosh, I could see through this parchment paper how this is getting so nice and thin. I'm going to show you what this looks like, and you're going to just be mesmerized. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So what I'm going to do now is, if it's about a quarter of an inch thick, you don't need to get out your ruler, but use your eyeballs and use your brains, and you can put it in the oven. You're going to get that in there for about 4 hours. Halfway through that 4 hours, you're going to need to flip it though. But prior to putting it in the oven, make sure you follow the directions. You do need to slice this up and slice it into long strips. I do about a 1 inch and maybe about 4 inches long. And then that way you don't have one big slab of meat that comes out of the oven. It's already sliced up for you. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I'm cutting because I'm not going to lie, this sometimes can be a little bit tricky. But you know what? When you make your own food and your own DIY projects, you know what's going into it. And so you can feel good about consuming these products or foods that you're making. So I went ahead and I cut long strips about 1 inch. Oh boy, this better not go traveling. This could be a problem. All right, there you go. About 1 inch wide or so. And I did notice that some spots were a little bit skimpy. So I went ahead and added a pinch of a little bit of meat that I had off to the side, and I thickened it up a little bit. So what I'm finding is that if you saw back and forth, one little section at a time, then you're going to be able to get through this meat and not have it scream at you. Okay, so I have all of the strips done now, and I'm going to now decide, well, how long do I want each of these strips to be? I'm only going to do about 4 inches. So I'm going to turn my pan around over here, and I'm just going to come down, and again, get your sawing motion going because it seems to be a little bit easier. It doesn't seem to tear the meat away, but because this is so pliable, it's easy for you to go ahead and shove that meat back in there again. And if you have some skinny spots, you know, fill them in a little bit. All right, so now I've got approximately the width of each of those pieces. All right, I'm going to finish cutting these, and I'm going to pop them in the oven, and then I'm going to show you the end result. So get excited. So you're probably wondering how it turned out. There it is, folks. It may not look the most appealing, but I'm telling you right now, that's pretty darn good. Now, you can spice this up as much as you want. More cayenne, less cayenne, which is the same as red pepper, paprika, pepper flakes, jalapenos, I don't know, whatever you want to do. But this is the end result. Again, you'll want to store it in the freezer because it doesn't have preservatives in it, which you don't want anyway. And it's sometimes not completely dried, so it's very safe to keep it in the freezer. I hope you enjoyed this video. As you can tell, I'm enjoying it. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you next time. I think I put too much red pepper in there. Holy moly, that's going to put hair on my chest. All right. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.